Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Review. So today we're going to be talking about Ford Maverick news that you need to know. I want to put some worries to the side, and we're also going to be talking about Bronco. That's the big Bronco, the topless Bronco. We're going to be talking all about engine news, and in general we'll be talking a little bit about just general information you should know about the engine on the Maverick, or engines, as well as the engines available for the Ford Bronco. Now let's just jump right in, put the pedal to the metal, and get right to it. So, things you need to know. Right at the top of the list, some of you might be worried about plant closures. Now, the Ford Maverick plant, where the Bronco Sport is also built, so this is for Bronco Sport people as well, I guess. The factory did close. It's gonna close for the third time this year since the Maverick's been getting produced, and it's already been closed twice. So it got closed on the 11th and 12th of October, and then it closed the second time on the 15th. And, you know, both times, commodity issues were the reason given. That commodity issues really just means that the suppliers that are bringing parts to the factory, well, they didn't have the parts for the factory to stay open. Now this is going to happen again from the 1st to the 5th of November. So a lot of you might be really worried about your build week or build date getting pushed back by a week. Well, this is why. So if you had a build date in the month of November, December, either expect it to come, or I'm here to put your worries aside. If you're being pushed back a week, this is why. So the world's not on fire. You will get your Maverick, but you're gonna get it a week later. That I can confirm. Now, moving right along, the Bronco and Maverick engines in general. We are going to be talking about V8 in the topless Bronco, but before that I just want to talk in general about engines. So no matter what form you find online, no matter what the manufacturer is, who they are, no matter what the model, you're going to find forums that are going to say that, you know, they had this issue. And, you know, you got to really take into consideration that these forums are filled often with the people who had the same issue. That doesn't mean you're going to have an issue with the motor. It doesn't mean it's unreliable. You know, I do suggest looking at reading from special firms that have done a general analysis of the engine overall. So if you're worried about the Maverick's 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, keep in mind it's on generation 2. The whole internals are almost completely different from generation 1. There have been some problems, but there's always some problems no matter what the engine, no matter who the manufacturer is. What's important is that this engine is fairly reliable. It's quite reliable. And of course there'll have been some problems, you know, some problems with exhaust manifold leaking, you know, a few problems here and there with radiator leaking inside, which can cause, you know, a whole engine replacement. But these, for the most part, are freak occurrences. The 2-liter EcoBoost engine is reliable. The 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine in the Bronco is reliable as well. And remember, that's not on its first generation either. There were some issues first generation, and those have been worked out. But no matter what engine, what manufacturer, you are going to have problems when you're building, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of a unit. Some people are just going to have bad luck. Now, there is a difference between bad luck and overall general failure. So what I'm trying to say here is the engine, whether it's the 2.3 liter on the Bronco, whether it's the 2.7 liter EcoBoost on the Bronco, the hybrid engine for the Maverick, or the 2 liter, these engines have not faced general overall failure. They're good engines. So I hope that puts worries aside. Now, talking about engines, Bronco's gonna have a V8. Hey, I confirmed, but you know, I highly speculated this 3 months ago. I did a video, and right on the thumbnail it said V8 in a Bronco. Big old yes across the screen. I thought that there's very good chances that we get a V8. So welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel,
I'm Johnny, and I'm your host. This is Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, where I give you a little bit of insider information on what's going on at Ford. I try to break the news before anyone else because I do have a little spot and a little sneak peek into what's going on at Ford, and I try to stay on top of the news to bring you the latest and greatest news. Now, you're going to want to watch this video because this is some really exciting news. We're getting a V8 in the Bronco. I'm sure of it, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So let's put the pedal to the metal and jump right in.
I thought it would come from the Shelby, but what is being confirmed, and that we still don't know for sure, but what is definitely being confirmed is that it's coming on the Ford Bronco DR edition. So that's Desert Runner or Desert Racer. So the DR version, I'm not going to take the time to memorize all sorts of stuff about it because they're only building 50, it looks like, for so far the plan is 50 during the 2022 year production. This is going to be a vehicle that's going to play somewhere between somewhere around the $250,000 USD mark, and that's if hopefully Ford will do something to make sure that these do actually go out to race teams and that it's not just collectors who are looking to hide them in a garage or resell them for even more profit, because then it'd be very scary how much someone might try to resell that at auction house. Now, what is really positive about all this is that it confirms that we can fit a 5-liter V8, because the Coyote 5-liter is a very, very big engine due to its design. It's not a push rod engine. If it was, it'd be quite a bit smaller. So it's a dual overhead cam engine. So you've got 2 camshafts per V, the engine's built in a V. At the top, you've got 2 dual overhead cams. So you've got 4 camshafts in total. You've got phasers on the top of that, making it so that engine can be both extremely powerful or economical, because those camshaft phasers basically play around with all sorts of, well, it plays around with the whole timing of the engine and how the entire engine performs. So it's an engine that's giving you the best of both worlds. So for people that want to swap them out in the Bronco, it looks like it probably will be possible, and I'd say this definitely opens the door to my theory that the 5-liter will end up in the Shelby. What I can tell you though is that means it only makes sense that the Raptor or Warthog or any other special edition, Heritage Edition, Everglades Edition, whatever we might see from Ford that isn't somewhere near at least that price range, we're probably not going to see a V8. I think actually probably it looks like we're going to be seeing a 3-liter EcoBoost engine out of the new Raptor or Warthog, but it looks like they're going with Raptor as a name. What's really interesting about that is, in other models, whether it's Lincoln or Ford, like the Explorer ST, that's making 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. That's big news. That's very, it's very, it's a great engine in the Explorer ST. And the Explorer ST, playing around in the weight range of a Bronco, I can tell you, I've driven it many times, and that thing boogies. Like that moves. That's real pedal to the metal action. A whole lot of fun. But what's even more exciting is it does also open up the opportunity of having a hybrid offering. So Lincoln, the Aviator, remember, has the 3-liter EcoBoost engine. So that's a 6-cylinder with 2 turbos. But you can also have it as a plug-in. And when you have it as a plug-in, not only do you have the opportunity to drive, to work 100% electric, so costing next to nothing. What's really cool is that it has 600 pound-feet of torque. So we might see, I'm gonna say we are gonna see some pretty wild things come out of the Bronco for people later on, either now if you've got a whole lot of money, or later on. We will see some very interesting swaps. So V8 swaps, 3-liter EcoBoost plug-in swaps, because that should fit. So we're in for a whole lot of excitement for the years to come. Ford is throwing a whole lot at us all in one shot, so it's a pretty exciting time. I hope people aren't being discouraged because, when they're looking around, should I get a Maverick? Should I get a Bronco? You fall on a forum where that forum happens to be a forum just filled with people who have issues. Now, it gives us the impression that everyone has issues. But remember, they're building hundreds of thousands of 2-liter engines. They've built hundreds of thousands of 2.7-liter engines. So you got to keep in mind that you're going to come across some bad luck. And it's just to figure out, is it bad luck? And it's like, winning the lottery, where it's happening to, 1 out of every 10,000, 100,000, 1 out of a million? Or is it really a major issue? Now, if it was a major issue and it was touching, a huge percentage, I definitely want to cover that and let you know. But it's not, so I'm not worried, to the point where I'm going to have some interesting Bronco news coming up. I like this Bronco so much, who knows what I'll do. So stay tuned. If you do like this type of content, please like and subscribe. That way you don't miss a beat. And I want to be putting the pedal to the metal very soon to a whole engine discussion for the big Bronco. I want to talk about 2.3 liter versus 2.7 liter. I haven't had time covering all the Maverick stuff lately, and Ford's been just giving us all sorts of news. But this goes back about a month, actually over a month ago. I test drove a 2.3 liter EcoBoost manual Bronco. Now, it was a 4-door, so you got to take a whole weight situation into consideration. Very different than if it had it been a 2-door, as a 4-door. And I own this 2.7 liter EcoBoost. So I want to be talking about that, comparing the two, helping you all pick out your 2022 Bronco. So I hope this information has been helpful. If so, if you do subscribe, remember, it does help feed a poodle, and hey, it even helps dress a poodle. Winter's coming, got to get those snowsuits going. So thank you very much for watching to the end, and until next time, I wish you all more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal this week. Have a great week.